I think we are good.
Take a deep breath.
Get your water.
Like there's nothing that's like no technical. I mean, if it happens, it happens. What can we do? Hopefully, it won't.
Okay, it's not streaming live. Wow.
Yeah, I think we are live on Facebook.
All right.
I hope so. I'm
Yep,
waiting for,
I see that we're active. So if you want me to go first, I will go first. I have a couple of comments, but I'm super excited, and Sohini's the one who organized it. So
yeah, it is streaming, right?
yes.
Okay, good. All right. Welcome everybody, and to anybody who's watching us live right now, and anybody who's going to see or watch this recording later on, I guess, because it's going to be up on the platform for people to see later on. So today we get to continue the celebration for the 5-year anniversary of STEMPeers. And we are going to be talking about Gurukool today, which is the mentor-mentee program and one of the several initiatives that STEMPeers has started over the years. And this program has been helping and has helped several people in the past in this arduous journey of transitioning from academia into industry. And so we have some of our mentors, Tracy and Raghu, and some of their mentees, Roshni, Vandana, and Khyati, have already transitioned out, and they are going to be sharing their journey and their stories. And as Raghu suggested, we're going to make it a conversation and make it a fun session right now, while at the same time telling people what Gurukool is all about. But before we go to that, there's a couple slides which is going to just talk about the journey of the platform itself, how it started and where we are now. So let's try and share the screen and see how that goes. I do not like when there are all these pauses in between. All right. So Gurukool, as it is the mentor-mentee program, it was first started in 2016. And in the last few years, we have more than 400 members, and that's including the mentors and the mentees. And what this platform does, it basically helps people structuring their resume, cover letters, LinkedIn, and then developing them so that you are visible to your network or to the people who are probably trying to hire you and make you one of those competitive applicants. And one of the best things that I like from my personal experience is this one-on-one advice or mentoring that you get. So there are so many mentors out there who selflessly just give time, spend their time from their day, giving you advice, coaching you or helping you build your, or in basic professional development, who will actually sit with you to match your resume with the job description. There's somebody in the panel who's helped me do that. So there's that. And not only that, there are several different small pieces, I feel, which are there in the job application or the job search or in this complete journey of transition, such as figuring out or developing your contract and negotiation skills. These are things that I don't think many of us are very well versed of or very aware of before we join a platform where we can actually get these experiences or get this knowledge from a lot of different people who have gone through something similar in the past. And so we also get to practice mock interviews. I've also had the opportunity to practice mock informational interviews with some of the people that I've met through this platform. And last but not the least, it helps in building a network. So there are people who will post job ads, who will send out messages from the recruiters and also offer to connect you with the sales recruiters. And so overall, this program is to promote your professional development and to help you get the job that you want or that you're dreaming of. So a little bit about the journey of the platform of the year. So it started in 2016 with 25 members. Then in 2017, there were 80 members who joined us. Then we had 80 more members joining in 2018, 150 members in 2019, and in 2020 we have 76 and counting. It's because we have yet another session that is yet to start. So we are still not over with 2020. So as you can see, we have lots of people, lots of experiences, lots of knowledge helping each other out in this process. And if I go into the statistics of it, you see there's so many people, majority of them are already in the industry. And just giving a very brief example of the different career tracks all these people are part of. So you have people who are in business development, who are scientific writers and editors, who are consultants, research scientists in a pharma industry, project managers, academia, or in the industry. Then we have field application scientists, we have intellectual property managers, we have medical writers, and we have quality assurance and regulatory operations. And this is covering just some of the different areas that the mentors or the members of this group are in. There's several more, so you can understand the knowledge that this group has in preparing you for anything that you need help with. Okay, so that's me done with, I'm going to stop this sharing if I can figure out how to do that. How do you do that?
At the bottom, it should, when you're in your main window for Zoom, you should be able to hit stop share at the bottom with the share screen.
I do, yeah. This is, I have two different screens going on, so it went on the other screen. All right, so there was that. So that, I was very confused because I couldn't see any panel over here. Okay, so now I am done. I'm done talking. So I will hand it over to you. Tracy, do you want to go first?
I am absolutely happy to go first. Yes.
Okay.
So from my perspective as a mentor, and I think we get to hear both perspectives, which I think is really rich and valuable today. But from my perspective as a mentor, there's really three aspects to that. And the first is teaching, second is coaching, and third is sponsoring. And they sound similar, but I think that they're distinct. So from the teaching perspective, for me as the executive coach for STEMPeers, I get to actively teach webinars on the Gurukool platform, which I love doing. No one teaches career exploration. So for you guys to have access to this platform and this training is great. And so I want to make sure that gets customized, that's right on time, that you guys have access to the types of things that you need to answer the questions that you have. So the session this afternoon, or actually immediately following this, is going to be an Ask Me Anything. It's really an open-ended opportunity to hear the types of questions that you have. And then if we need to develop, I say we, but it was me and now it's Sahini and I, which is fantastic. I love this, that even this little piece is expanding, which is great. So that we can devise the next best set of webinars. The second is coaching. And so I see that for me as being on the platforms, being able to answer questions, being able to chime in, add to the conversation that's already going. And it's also an opportunity for me to connect with some of the individuals, both on STEMPeers and on the Gurukool platform in that one-on-one forum, so that when you have specific questions, I'm willing to take time and really sit down and dive into that with you. And then the last is sponsoring. And that's really where I get to connect people with others, bring you into my network, let you leverage the fact that I've connected with some people over time, and make sure that you have access to that on top of the platform in Gurukool. And frankly, it's really not your network. Although you want to expand that, it's really who who they know, right? So it's the seconds in your LinkedIn, if you want to think about it that way. Your goal over time is to add more to your firsts so that you have more seconds around you. And that happens in the platform. It happens, in a lot of different arenas. But, 400 plus and counting in the Gurukool, plus the 16K that are in that STEMPeers, plus everyone that, where I'm connected with over 3,000 on LinkedIn, that there's some overlaps in all of those spaces, but I think that that's a rich environment. And certainly when you're ready to focus in and make sure that, you're prepared for making all of the transitions and steps that you need to do to get to that next career step. Gurukool is an amazing platform for that. So with that, I'm going to let everybody else talk.
No, but your webinars have been super helpful and very, very informative, Tracy. And the fact that we have them and people ask questions after going back and referring to them, and you're always there to answer those questions, that's been great. As you said, not many places, or rather, I don't know other places, who actually allow such detailed coaching for every different piece and structure involved in the job process. So thank you so much, Tracy. Those are very valuable information that you've been providing us with.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Pitch in that, Tracy's attention to detail is amazing. I'm like, wow, where did she come up with all these? I think, I've never had time to go and, watch you live, but I'll always go back to a recorded one. I'm like, yes, she's got that point. And I think, yes, Gurukool has helped me in that aspect.
Yeah. All right. So next we have Raghu. I don't think Raghu needs any introduction in STEMPeers. Are you muted?
Do you want to have one of the mentees talk and then I'll jump in?
Sure. Roshni, do you want to start? Absolutely. Yes.
I thought I had more.
No, go for it.
Totally. So just as Sohini mentioned, I'm in the 2019 batch of Gurukool mentees. And trust me, when I entered Gurukool, I had no clue. I was this postdoctoral fellow at Baylor College of Medicine, and I didn't know where to get started, really. And the thing on my mind was I was moving to a new country. So right now I'm in Toronto. So there were two challenges in front of me: moving to a new country and transitioning out of academia, which literally sounded impossible at that point. And I joined Gurukool not knowing where to get started. And I think Gurukool gave me that starting point. One of the major differences I observed from STEMPeers and Gurukool is STEMPeers has a lot of questions on different aspects, but Gurukool would be mostly like-minded individuals who are in this journey with you together and who can connect with you. Like, you reach out to someone and they exactly know what you're talking about. There's, it's very focused, and I like that focused aspect of Gurukool. I reached out. I just sat there as a passive member for a while. And I realized that, Ananda would start nudging people, like, go ahead, like, post your LinkedIn. Let's see. And then it gave me the freedom to come out. And I would say LinkedIn has empowered me, and it all started from Gurukool. Really, like, I had this dead LinkedIn platform sitting there. And the first set of criticism was, like, it literally helped me structure it, and people were very frank about it. Like, this is the problem, this is exactly, look, go to this person's LinkedIn and have a look. And that visual aspect gave me more confidence to play around. And once I started posting on LinkedIn, I think my biggest supporters came from Gurukool. Like, they were the first people to like and share. And that's like, okay, now I have confidence. And a lot of people started adding me on LinkedIn. I think my confidence came from Gurukool. I always had, like, Gurukool had my back all the time. And even when I didn't know what to do with my resume. And most of the time when people tell you, in my mind, I was like, I want it to be more visual. And the fact in Gurukool that a lot of people share their resumes. Now you can see, okay, this is different. This is how they structured it different to mine. And that helped. That visual journey actually helped me a lot more than just getting feedback. And then I should say that I moved to Toronto, and the networking. So LinkedIn, the resumes, and the networking. I think that was spot on. I would just go, it was so easy to connect. Hey, I'm from Gurukool. And yes, that's it. I didn't need any more of introduction. And they knew that I was, I was looking for jobs, and so many people, like when I put it out there. And the second thing is that people saw my resume, so they knew what my skill sets were. And my fellow CSG members in Canada would like, hey, this fits Roshni's profile, forward it to her. They were so nice. I had so many leads from what they forwarded it to me. And I could always call up and, I have made so many friends on LinkedIn, on just being on the CSG Gurukool. Like, I've never met all these people, but I can still take a call and talk to them. It's now no more about job applications. It's about even venting that, oh, I have this problem and I have that problem. And they're like, yes, now we can solve it together. So though it's a virtual platform, it has come to be a very personal part of me. And the number of people who I connected on LinkedIn and the people who connected with me, it was a constant. I don't know if I'm a mentor or a mentee now at this point. It's like I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly coaching people. Like, see, this is what I learned. This is what I can give back. And, just seeing selfless dedication from our mentors also helped. Like, I always loved to be this passive person who sat and just read comments and all that. But now I see, and our mentors are very, they're an inspiration. The way you guys find time and the commitment that you give them, like, okay, when they can do it, definitely I can do it. Like, that has even pushed my boundaries. And I think it's just a lot of you. At some point, you don't know if you're a mentor or a mentee. It's this constant dynamic role that you're playing at every point.
You've been a mentor for me, Roshni. You've literally, what you said, what you got, you have sat down with me for an hour over phone call, trying to tailor my resume and my LinkedIn. So you've done that with me. So
I guess it's just giving back what I got.
Oh, yes, yes, for sure. Exactly. And you're very right about mentors pushing you to like be more vocal, voice your, like, literally write your thought process down. And I've done that. And there are so many people who are ready to give their advice and their opinion and from their experience to share that. So that's a really good point, because that's what you see in this platform. Yeah.
It's not only
just selfless help.
They're actively involved. And
exactly. Yep. For sure. Wow, Roshni, that's great. Yeah. One day we should talk in more in detail about your journey of going into Canada while also transitioning into industry. So 2 transitions happening simultaneously. We should definitely talk more about
that's
that.
where Gurukool actually helped, because though I was somebody very new on the group, people trusted me, and that's what you want. People, you need trust first about everything else. And I realized that there's so many people willing to trust what you say and have confidence in you. Even you're trying out your LinkedIn for the first time, they'll be like, okay, like and share, boost her confidence. And that helps.
Great. Yeah. All right. That's wonderful. Thank you, Roshni, for talking about your journey.
Thank you all for this opportunity to give back.
All right. Raghu, now do you want to comment?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll do that. Thank you. Thanks for setting it up well and moderating this. And Roshni, good perspective from the mentee side. And Tracy kicked it off very well. If you will, I just want to step back a little, give a little perspective. What is Gurukool? And, in my mind, Gurukool actually started as an idea along the lines of the ancient Gurukulam system, from ancient Hindu philosophies, if you will. And it's an ancient system of education that has been there for a really long time. It goes as far back as the 6th century pre-Buddhist times, right? It's mentioned in the Upanishads. So it's a real ancient system. It's been working well, and there's a whole lot of value in it. It's referred to in the ancient scriptures like the Upanishads and Vedic, scriptures and stuff like that. So ideally, how they started those days was when the little kids were about 8 to 12 years old. They would get into this Gurukulam system where there'd be a guru, and all the kids coming in were the Sishyas, and there was an interaction. It was like a residential school where they would live there with the guru, do all the chores, learn everything that guru has to offer, and get ready for their transition in life, real life. So they never paid fees. They were only expected a guru dakshina or a donation or a contribution when they left the place after they learned everything. So that's historically how it has been going on. And, Those were run by public donations and contributions of the people, of the kids who go out, after they go out, stuff like that, and those kingdoms of those days and stuff. So now if you want to draw a parallel between what happened then and now, in this Gurukul system, we figured let's start something like that, Gurukul, where we nurture people, not 8 to 12 years old, but people with 8 to 12 years of college experience, right? You see the parallel there? You are mature to a certain extent. You're there to come in and absorb and learn a lot of things and learn all these different skills from quote-unquote gurus or mentors who have gone through all of this in different perspectives, different ideas, different areas of expertise, different, like Tracy, for example, she gives out all this knowledge. It's so wide areas of expertise that she has, right? So giving all of this on this platform. And then, and again, this is also supported by public donations and sponsorships and contributions and volunteer hours from mentors and the board people, all of them, right? And then at the end of the day, what is the Guru Dakshina? We expect the people who move on to hopefully become mentors, become gurus, give back to the community. If you can, make a donation. If not, what you're doing, giving back to the community, giving back to the Gurukul community, helping them with questions. Like, for example, Roshni transitioned out and she sat down, talked for an hour with Sohini, right? So that's pretty much what it is, right? It pay forward, keep going, and grow the community, right? So with that introduction, I'll give you a little bit more about my introduction to it. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this. I like to help people. I like to, that came about because when I came here from India, this was a long time ago, came for a postdoc, looking to transition, I had no help, and not many people were willing to give detailed information or guide you through it. There might have been probably, quote unquote, a jealousy factor underneath. They don't want you to get better than them. They just want to keep you down. All those things have changed now, right? People who want to be there to help others. So in my mind, I said, once I get my first job, all I'm going to do is help others get jobs. So that's where I started my philosophy. And this happened in 99, 2000, I guess, so about a long time ago. So I've always been trying to help somebody with what I know, and including, it's a taboo talking about salaries and this and that, benefits. And I was always open about it. If somebody asked me, I'd tell them what it is and how it is and how do you approach it, how do you negotiate. So I thought this was a great platform. I got in 2016, 17, I was introduced here. And I enjoyed helping people out. I thought it was a go-to place for me to help people and satisfy my requirement of helping people, right? So I picked this up, adopted this platform as my own. And eventually, I think they kind of recognized what I was doing, and I've been put onto the board along with Tracy as well. Proud to be there, happy to help. So I echo what Tracy said, this ways of contributing to this. One of the things I really focus on is networking, as Tracy mentioned as well. It's really important. You not only build your immediate circle, but you build a lifelong connection, lifelong network, lifelong relationship, a whole new circle in life, right, that you can fall back on, relate to, connect to. My LinkedIn connection list is around 3,900 right now, right? That's my first connection. And I usually keep taking off people who I have not spoken to in like 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, because if it's, maybe I just got connected by mistake. So I just keep cleaning it up, try to keep it as relevant as possible. And I also, once in a while, do a reality check. When I post something, I want to see, are there views on it? Are there likes on it? Right? So I get an idea. For example, my last job transition, which happened about nine months ago, I posted my job transition and I got 15,000 views on it. 15,000 views. I'm like, how? Why? Right? So like Tracy mentioned, it's first connection, second connection, STEMPeers, Gurukool. I think there's a lot of value there. And when somebody shares their status, they're looking for a job, something on LinkedIn, I share it and post it. That gets additional views. So you're expanding your network. So I think that becomes important. And as part of as part of this Gurukool, I draw blank. As part of this Gurukool, what I see is we can encourage the mentees who come in here, right, to do something similar. You're learning now. You see how it goes, and then you give back to the community, right? And we are there as mentors to help you in any step you are, any step you need, any situation, any problem, any questions you have, like Chasey said, feel free to ask. And it's not only mentors answering, a whole lot of time mentees are jumping in because they have experienced something that you may not have experienced. So it's not a one-on-one, if you will. It's not like a one-on-one platform. It's multiples on one. So use this platform. It has been very helpful. I probably myself have personally mentored over 15, 20 people. At least 10 of them have gotten jobs, settled down. And the types of questions I get, the types of emails and LinkedIn invites I get is, I got 2 jobs. I want to figure out which one I want to go to. Or I got a job. I want to know how should I negotiate. I got a job. What should I negotiate for? Is it okay to even negotiate? What should I ask for? Is this job better or that job better? Is this town better or that town better? Which areas of work should I go into? I have no idea. I'm just a postdoc. Or no, I'm just a grad student. I don't know what I should do next. So it ranges from, life skills, academic skills, biotech skills to philosophical questions. And there's a person who called and asked about, I have this imposter syndrome. How do I handle this? Right? Oh, yeah. So these are things that you can actually discuss within tight-knit community, feel like you're talking to one-on-one personally, and get it solved and go on with life, succeed in life, and give back to the community. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Whenever someone asks a question, I'm like, he has so many experiences. He's gone through it all. Wow. Like, how does it happen? Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
That, they just had a smooth transition. And then, mentors like him keep it very real. Like, I have failed. I have faced this. I have faced that. Like, exactly. And then you're like, okay, so I'm not the only one in this situation.
Exactly. I had like almost 10 transitions, 10 transitions so far. So I must have seen something somewhere.
Well, and I think I want to jump in, but I want to make sure that we connect with others who are on the panel. But I think the message that we're hearing is the best mentor-mentee relationships are that give and take. And when I talk about networking, there's such a stigma with it. It's why I always say it's relationship building, right? It's making connections. And the fear is that as a mentee that you don't have anything to give back. But I want to make the point right here that, you've already heard a lot about how the mentors gain from being in that position where they're able to share information and give that expertise, but also that, Roshni and Raghu both echo what I feel. Like, I get a lot out of being able to help someone. Last week I had 2 people who got job offers and were like super excited. And then they got into that panic of, oh my God, now do I need to negotiate? Do I need to make sure? Right. And so, it's great to see that and feel that, their success, I contributed this little tiny piece to that. Right. So, I also want to point out that article that was shared in the platform on ladders, right? Where you're always constantly reaching behind you and pulling up the next person, and that visual of, helping everyone succeed is so much better than, in a very inclusive way, right? Because diversity drives science, right? Science is a global enterprise, and helping everyone grow really does help you, Raghu. I mean, you will say this with me, right? Like, having helped others has helped you in your own space. And yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, so I want to hear from the other side of that.
Yeah, no, but jumping in as well, what I think something we're hearing wrong, it's like, it's a lot of selfless, it's give and take, but it's very selfless. And I think, and I use the word tribe a lot. I've used this on the platform a lot, but that's what I feel like this community has given. It's built this tribe where you can call. And I personally, I can talk from my personal experience that I've been pushed so much to just be more vocal or share everything. And that's helped me personally so much in the last few months. Like I can try and thank this platform, but I don't think I'll have the right words to say whatever I've learned. I haven't even transitioned. I'm not anywhere close to it yet, but it's been such a wonderful learning experience and just knowing and connecting. And again, as Dr. mentioned, you build personal relationships with these people and it's been phenomenal. So yeah. Okay. Vandana, do you want to go next? Vandana is also another person who I talked to, and I think I bugged her immediately after she transitioned, but she was very nice and she talked in detail about her journey, even though it was like very recent and COVID just hit the United States. But yes, but we'll know more from Vandana herself about her.
Thanks, Sohini. So before I talk about Gurukul, I want to talk about my current end result. That is, I owe a lot to Gurukul for that. So I am working at Embark Veterinary. It's a dog genomics company. And my background is this like traditional genetics and biochemistry. And it was a very difficult transition for me to make into genomics, which I had very little background on. And I think it's mostly because of the people that I talked to who gave me confidence in pursuing this direction. And so that's how I'll start talking about Gurukul now. So I learned about Gurukul in 2019. That's when I joined the first half of the year. That was like my last year of PhD. And I wish I knew about it before. I would have joined before. But I was really confused about what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to do academic research. And I then started talking to people who were either close friends or friends of friends. And I'm a really introverted person. So it's hard for me to go and talk to a stranger. And I know that several people, even extroverts, would agree with that. It's really hard to go and talk to a stranger, and you always feel like you're wasting their time. What do you have to give? They're the only ones who are giving you. And I met so many selfless people in this way. But then once I joined Gurukul, I connected with all these people that I didn't know, and it made it so much easier to talk to people. And now I find that I can connect to people on LinkedIn and talk to them, and I know what will be useful in both ways, not just for me, also the person who I'm connecting with. And so I agree with everything that Roshni said, and I want to try to add some more new points about Gurukul. That was like really specific to how I felt. So the first thing that I went on the platform, it says, you ask any question, don't hesitate. And nobody is here to judge you. And that is very true. That is what I saw. I could ask any question and people would answer in the most positive way. And I'm really impressed. It's not like even though you've been through all this and you already have a career, these mentors, they already have a career for maybe 10 years, and they still remember how it was when they were first searching for a job after a PhD or after their postdoc. And they still answer you knowing that you don't know this and they want to help you. So that is something that is very special about this platform. And since I connected to all of these people, and 8 or 9 months later, there was that STEMPeers conference, and I had already spoken to so many people. And when I went to that conference, it was a one-day conference, and I couldn't have enough of talking to people. And I am an introvert, so that was really surprising for me. And another thing that I want to add is I really benefited from the stories that everybody told on Gurukul, in the STEMPeers conference, and it was really useful to me because I always felt that, oh, I don't have any of these skills. How am I going to transition? But all of these people did that, and so I felt that if I have the determination and the confidence to do it, I can do it if I go in the right track, if I talk to the right people, and if I focus on improving my skills in the certain set of places. And a third thing is that I live in Ithaca, which is the middle of nowhere. It's like it's just mainly Cornell. there is hardly any industry professionals that I can talk to here. And so Gurukul really was the way that I could network. Um, and so I found a lot of connections there and friends there. And at each and every step of my career, of my job search journey, so while I was searching for a job and I had all these random questions in my head, where even my friends or my family couldn't be helpful, because they, even though they know that you're searching for a job, they think that she has a PhD, she'll find a job. But it's all of these set of people who are going through this same journey, right? Searching for a job, even though you have a PhD or you've done a postdoc, it is still really difficult. And so it is important to be connected with these people for your like mental health. It was a great support system. And through each stage, so while I was searching for jobs, trying to think about what I would do well in, so I could ask questions to people. Whenever I didn't know whom to ask, I would just ask Ananda, and he would connect me to this person, and extremely selfless. Everybody was extremely selfless. Once I got the interview offer, I talked to people who, every time I got very specific and very useful advice, which I will remember throughout, like for the future. It's not just for that time. And once I got the job offer, again, now, as Tracy mentioned, negotiations came into effect, and I was like, I would never be in this situation. And when I was in this situation, I was like, I don't want to negotiate. I just want to sign my first job offer. And I think I spoke to Radhika Raheja, and she was like, no, you have to negotiate. This is how it is done. And so many people like Saurav Guha and Radhika Gopal, all of these people, they helped me so much before my interview. I really want to come on that other side and start contributing to Gurukul and not just leeching off. I feel as a mentee, like I have. Yeah.
That's great. Like, yeah, you're very, like, I think what you said about being in the middle of nowhere, that resonated with me as well. It is true, especially where I am. It's not, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it gets difficult. And I think that's where CSG and Google has been they've been very helpful in that. And also, what you said, like not knowing what to do. When I joined, I looked back at my post. I was like, I will do this, and I still remember the post I had put up, and I was like, now 4 months later, that is not what I want to do. Like, but that's when you get when you are actually talking to people and you know the different. My outlook or my knowledge about the different career prospects were very limited. And then when you come here, as I said, like there's so many people in so many different areas that they're working and they talk to you. I've talked to them. I've talked to people and I've eaten up people's heads talking to them, but like knowing their journey and knowing their, what are their suggestions or anything, or just processed thoughts out loud with them. Raghu is one person who gave me like 6 different fields, different areas that I could potentially go into. Then I can keep naming this Ananda, there's Mayur, Golon, Ketan. There's a lot. Like I can keep naming people that I have talked to or interacted with, Abhi, in the last few months. But yes, but that has also changed my idea about what I want to know, knowing what my skills are and when I can, what are the jobs out there where I can actually apply those skills.
So you start to understand better what you want just by talking to people.
Exactly.
Right. I also wanted to mention one thing that Abhinav had said in one of the NYAS meetings that I attended. He said that this is like your next step. It's just towards the path of the next step that you're doing. Something of this effect. I don't remember exactly what he said. And that I have taken to heart because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm currently doing. And it's just going to give me the set of skills and I'm enjoying it. But for what is the next thing? How do I grow?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's
couple things I just want to mention. The phrases, right? What the world is small gets so many different meanings, right? So you could be in such a remote place. You could be in a place like Ithaca. You could be in a place like Gurgaon, or you could be in some place in India or Europe somewhere, right? But you're connected to so many people in so many different places. Imagine when when we transition, some of us oldies transition, you wrote a letter and it took 15 days to reach the US from India.
Wow.
And then wait for that to come back. And those are the times when I came for my postdoc, right? So now it's all constricted. It's all in a small ball. It's a small world, right? And the second thing I just want to make a comment is life, right? Life is what actually happens when you're trying to figure out what life is, right? Don't forget that part. You enjoy the journey, enjoy the thing. And like you said, Vandana, Abhinav said, you're preparing for the next step in life, but don't forget to enjoy that step while you're preparing, and, absorb that, learn from it, and then you're a better person already.
And I'd like to even mention what Vandana said about people being very non-judgmental. I love that part of Gurukul. Nobody is attacking you. No, people are just kind. You might have failed like 10 rejection. No problem. It's so common. Like people are there to that's okay. We've been there, done that. And the other thing about Gurukul is that it not only has success stories, it has failure stories also.
Yes.
There's a part people don't talk about. If we,
Yep.
as a person who's trying to transition, you're like, oh, all these people are successful in the world except me. You have that, right? And then when they
Very true. Yeah.
kind of, okay, they have also failed. It's normal.
Yeah. It's it's a good point. Like a few days ago, like not few days, a week ago or something, I was talking to Abhijit about this, and he said something very similar along those lines. He was also like, yeah, like it's a process. So like take this, it's fine. Like take your time and go through this journey. You will get somewhere. That is for sure. So yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Kathy, do you want to go next? I think she's the one who has had the quickest transition. I think one of the quickest transitions since after she joined Gurukul. And I would love to know more about your story, to be very honest.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I would really like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. It feels like really a big gratitude session, that we are so thankful for those people who started this journey. And as Raghu described, he went through it and he doesn't want anyone to go through it. So that is really, really appreciable, So, I mean, Ananda, Raghu, I think you have replied to my so many posts on Facebook. So I really appreciate that. So I will describe my journey before STEMPeers and after STEMPeers. What
Sure.
happened? So I had made my resume. I was trying to reach to the people. I was applying through LinkedIn and was never getting like any reply even to the post jobs that I apply. Then in September there was an annual conference of STEMPeers, and I heard Tracy's talk on resume. She had given 10 steps to polish your resume, and I went through each of them and worked on my resume and submitted for my next job. I got like 3 replies immediately, and like you can see before and after just of one seminar. Of course, I talked to like so many people, and I think one of the very useful thing Tracy said at that time, that you are never alone. So try to reach out to people. So that was like really good. As Vanna said, I'm introvert too. So like giving like a cold call to people, I mean, I get like scared, but it was very easy for me to post it on post it on STEMPeers, and then there are people who will reply to my post. That was really very easy. That helped me connect better. So yeah, after I got like replies from the recruiters and then from the company where there were job postings, um, I was like, I went and gave an interview, which almost went well, but it didn't work out at the end. And then I posted that, I have like a second interview lined up, but I want to make sure that I don't do anything wrong. And there were people who called, and I posted. So at that time on October 15th, I enrolled into Gurukul, and my interview was scheduled on November 1st. And I was preparing for that. On October 28th, I posted that I need help with mock interview and want to understand what I went wrong. Smita immediately replied, and she went through my slides, she went through my like job posting, and she gave me pointers what I could include and what I should not include. She also gave me suggestion that I can make like a Venn diagram where I can project the skill sets, the job description required skills, and like my training. And like my hiring manager was like, I'm really impressed how thoroughly you thought through this. So here there are people who you never met and who are ready to invest in you. That's a huge thing. I mean, there are commercial platform out there who like charge money and still don't do anything. And here we are, like as a family. So I think the way you started Gurukul, that name really resonated with me, because it comes from Vedic wisdom. And like in the Gurukul, you feel you give support to each and every one, right? So that was really very helpful. So I went for an interview in the morning. Also, Smita called me saying best of luck for your interview, and I'm sure it will go well. I finished my interview at 3:30. 3:30 when I sent her a text saying that it really went well and everything was good. Even during the annual function, I talked to Abhishek, Ananda, about the visa process. They helped me like narrow down the script that I can tell employers, because I required a visa sponsorship, which I know in this time not many people wants to do, right? And I was on H1 visa, so like F1 OPT is not an option because I was a postdoc at UCSF. But they helped me how I can relate them that I have a petition for O1. Abhishek really gave me pointers how to prepare for the green card application, so that was also very helpful. And going forward in the Gurukul, so my interview happened on November 1st, and I got that offer. And then I started talking to Abhishek more, and he's like, he was literally doing a live negotiation with me, what to tell, what not to tell on the text. And I was like, you have a meeting at 2 o'clock, right? And he was like, yeah, don't worry, I can text you. So
That's
he
amazing.
gave me like a strategy for how to negotiate, and because of that, I got like 5K more than I would never, like as Vandana said, I would just sign up for the job and never ask for more. But that was really helpful. So like all the mentors in Gurukul, they really want you to be uh, go ahead and get your dream job and help. I mean, they are the pillars of your success. So uh, and then I think on November 25th, I signed my contract, and then I had to apply for visa. So for that, I joined the O1 Slack channel that Deepa has, which was also really very helpful. So actually, I'm thinking of writing an article, certain things that helped me with my O1 petition, that we can put it on STEMPeers website so that it can help others as well. So for O1 visa also, certain things, I think what Abhishek told me at that time is that if you have like a media attention, that captures a lot of things about you of qualifying those criteria for O1, which was really very helpful, because then I put myself more out and did like more oral talks rather than doing poster talks. And I think according to my lawyers, that made my application more strong. So there are like so many steps, right, from
Yes.
resume to interview to visa to negotiation. I mean, at each and every step, like Gurukul was really very helpful. And I have been sharing this with other members of STEMpeers as well on one-on-one basis, whom I know in my San Francisco group. But I think I will like consolidate that information, especially about O1, and put it over there. And as Vanna said, I don't think so we have advanced enough, uh, but I will be more than willing to help of what help I have received. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Perfect.
that's
Thank you.
wonderful,
Big thank you
Kathy.
to
Yeah.
Tracy. Like just one webinar made like huge difference. So
That's wonderful. I think we heard from everybody, but I think like I can keep reiterating it's the same thing. It's just people who have selflessly ready to help you and guide you and help you develop and get that job, dream job of yours, and help you with multiple transitions, because it's a journey, right? It doesn't stop with one. It
Yes.
keeps on happening. It is repeating. And so these are the people you can fall back on and talk to them, and they are there to help you. So that's the community that's been built. So very, very thankful to the founders and everybody who took this initiative to do this, because it's not there anywhere
You,
else.
you,
You know,
Can
there
I
was one.
add something to
you could
Sohini?
you could see
What
the
Sohini said.
Go ahead.
Oops.
you could see the gratification and the validation when Kathy said that the emotions coming out of Tracy's face. I probably am not able to express it the same way, but when I post on STEMPeers saying, one more person got a job, you get like so many people saying, "Yay, congrats!"
Yeah.
Who's that? Right? That's the same feeling I'm feeling when I'm posting that, because every time I talk to somebody and they tell me I got a job, I post it right there.
Right.
Right? But Kathy, good transition story, and I'm happy that you're willing to write out that little article and post it. I think that's what we should expect from, or at least quote unquote expect from people, who transition out of these sessions, Gurukul sessions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Roshni, you had something to say?
Yeah, there was just one thing, when Kathy mentioned, I remember, I don't know who posted in Gurukul, but someone is like, you should have a business card with you whenever you go to meet someone. So you just hand it over. And I come to Toronto, I'm like, I don't have a job. I'm in another country. Forget about being in the same country. What on earth am I going to write in my business card? You won't believe it. I just went ahead and printed a business card. Nothing. I just had my picture, my LinkedIn, the link, not my name and my address and phone number. There was technically nothing else on it. And I got an informational interview with one of the directors of a pharma company. It was through a friend. And he agreed to meet me in person. This was before the corona. So he had met me for breakfast, and he was like, no, you're inexperienced. I could feel it. I could feel that I was inexperienced and maybe I don't qualify for the job. So I heard all his criticism. And at the end of it, I was like, if you don't mind, can I give you my business card? And I could see that 5-second shock on his face. He's like, what? I thought you didn't have a job. And then I just picked up the card and I gave it, and he's like, wow, I've never seen such confidence. I was like,
I'm already preparing my retired life business card.
Okay. Nice.
I don't think so, Raghu. You can
Yeah.
ever retire. Right? You have to help everyone.
I'm already contemplating retiring. I'm done. No, this is fun.
Yeah,
This is good.
it was
So
good. It was
Very good. Thank you, everybody.
And one
friend.
thing I would like to say, right, as Vandana mentioned that she's in the middle of nowhere, I think I'm in the area where I'm middle of everything. And yet, like, there are so many people over here. And then you don't know whom to reach out, right? So,
Yeah.
like, even that's like the other spectrum of what Vandana described. That sometimes that is also like you need to identify people who can help, and that's where Gurukul is
Yeah.
like really big help.
All right.
So-
Thank you. Tracy. Sorry.
No, I do. I just wanted to echo one thing that I heard, and thank you for that that message and that wonderful feedback. That's made 2020 definitely worth it. And I say that every time I hear positive feedback, because there's so much crazy that's going on. But you're right. You might feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but when you have those connections, it takes all of that like physical distance and it turns it into having everything right there. But I think the biggest take home is you learn something and you actively can do something with it, but when you can teach it to the next person, right, when you can pass that knowledge on, it's cyclical. You're going to learn something else, you're going to actively do something with it, and then you're going to teach it, right? And it's when you get to that teaching, that's when you really have internalized that knowledge, and sharing it back out is that self-fulfilling piece that I think gives us all that yay, right? Like that emotional
Yeah.
response that
Right.
really can take away from you know, all of the everything else that's going on. You know, when you feel like I'm not enough or I'm failing, or, you know, imposter syndrome comes in, right? This having this whole network just is a wave and just crashes it and pushes it out, and it goes away. So anyway, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that anybody grows out of being a mentee, right? So, like I said, I've transitioned so many times. Even now, I had to make a decision. I call back into the group. I talk to people in the Gurukul group or some of the advisors, organizers. You're never done learning. You're never done doing stuff. So the transition is part of life. So you never stop doing it. And if you can't give back and you can't help, don't feel bad. A time will come when you can do it. And at that time, be open to doing it. There are a lot of people who say, Raghu, I'm sorry. I got your help. I transitioned, but I haven't been able to give back or do anything. But your time will come. Do it. But have that in mind, right? So don't be afraid if you can't contribute.
Yeah, that's actually my story, that even though I transitioned, like in November, my visa application didn't go through until April. And then I was like busy doing something else. So when I saw that post from Sohini, I was like, I can't miss this, you know.
I know. We had a nice back and forth there. Like even Roshni was like immediately like, this, do you want to do this? I was like, sure, please, let's do this. Like,
yeah. Sit down and write a long paragraph. So if, you know, given a chance to talk, I'm like, yes, me.
Yeah. And also I would like to
say, I think we need to give time for Tracy to go back to another call.
To do the next for Gurukul. We are like back.
It can start a minute late.
One thing that I would like to say to Tracy and those who are listening to the Gurukul platform, I think Tracy gives out the the names of the books and the TED Talks. Please pay extra attention to that. Those are really, really useful. And she has like really thought it through. So those were really useful to me as well. So thank you, Tracy. I have so many things to be thankful. So
this is so wonderful. Like, this is why I love this community so much. But thank you to everybody who came and shared your stories. It's going to be up there for people to see later as well. So yeah. All right.
Well, there's constant cohort. So when you're ready, send in your application, join the platform, and be part of all of this.
Yes. We have another one coming up very soon. So yeah.
Yes.
See you on the lookout. All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.